Hello everyone, it's Nick. Welcome to Dolly Corner. Yes, we're not in the kitchen today. This is my little space where I do my doll things, face-ups, whatever I'm doing with my dolls. So I have my desk here and some of my dolls and my face-up supplies and various books and other things. It's quite a small space in my utility room. So I'm in here with the washing machine and various other things. But it's mine. So we're here today to do my second video, which is a tag video, and it's Demi's How It All Began tag. Demi's channel is Dem's BJDs, and I'll link the tag video down below. And I thought this was a great tag to do because it kind of tells you everything I wanted to tell you when I introduced myself and all about my dolls and things. So here we go. Number one, how did you find out about BJDs? Well, I found out about BJDs when I was trying to learn how to customize blinds, and I came across Nicole's Dreams on YouTube, and yes, the rest as they say. Number two, what was your reaction when you saw one? Well, it's pretty much, wow, they're really pretty, I like those. Number three. Now I'm going to answer number 3 and number 4 together because they're kind of connected. So number 3 is how did you decide to start collecting BJDs? And number 4 is did you collect other dolls before? Okay, yes, I did collect other dolls before. I started with a small collection of Curious Pip art dolls. That was my first collection as an adult. And I'm not sure if any of you are aware of Curious Pip. It's a lovely lady called Sarah Burford. She's an artist quite close by to where I am in the UK. She's in Bristol and I'm just down a bit further in the southwest. And she is an illustrator, and she makes these lovely cloth art dolls based on 1940s, 1950s film stars. I will perhaps make a short video at some point and show my small collection to you, for those of you who are not familiar with her work. But those were the first ones I collected, and then I went on to Blythes. Now I'm not sure how I made the leap from cloth art dolls to Blythes, can't remember, but I started collecting custom Blythes, and I thought to myself, I don't want to just collect these, I actually want to learn how to customize these for myself. So that is what I was doing. I was customizing Blythes, and I did customize a couple. They're not brilliant, but I was pleased with them. But then I developed a problem with my hands. So basically I developed really bad pain in my shoulder blades and all down my arms and into my hands, and my hands were numb. And it's a bit of a long story, so I won't go on about it, but this went on for a couple of years, and I had lots of hospital tests and tears and pain, and it wasn't a good time. So during that time I couldn't continue with the Blythe customizing, because every time I would try and carve the face, it would set the pain in my hands off again. So that's when I remembered the BJDs I'd seen on Nicole's Dreams, and I sort of had a bit of an epiphany that those dolls weren't carved, she was just painting them, and I thought maybe I could start getting some dolls that I could just paint. So I started with Monster High and Ever After High, and I've got a few up there. You can only see a couple of them, the rest are sort of behind. And then I decided I wanted to try painting on resin. So that's when I went on to buy my first BJD. Gosh, that was a bit of a long answer, wasn't it? Okay, number 5, who was your first doll? I'm going to need a sip of tea before I continue, because we're going to have a bit of a recast discussion. Brace yourselves. Okay. My first doll was 2. I bought 2, and they were both recasts. And the reason I bought recasts, how naive, I was coming from Blythe, where most people, when they're learning to customise Blythes, buy fakes to learn on. Now, I could tell you that nobody worries about fake Blythes in the Blythe community, and that, you know, everyone's cool with it, but that's not true. There are some people, Blythe collectors and Blythe fans out there, who really do have a problem with the fake Blythes. I've met some in real life with my fake Blythe in my hand, so that was fun. But on the whole, it is true that they're not quite as intense as some in the BJD community when it comes to voicing their opinions strongly. Can I put it like that? So, when I say I was naive when I bought my recasts, I'm not saying I wouldn't have bought them if I'd have realised, because I had reasons for buying them, but I didn't realise quite how strongly people dislike them in the BJD community, and that in having bought some recasts, I've probably ostracised myself from certain parts of that community. Oh well. So anyway, I bought them because I was learning to paint on resin, and to me it seemed obvious that if I was going to learn to do something that I might not be any good at, it would not be a good idea to spend a huge amount of money on a real doll to do that on. Does that make sense? Anyway, so this is one of my first girls. She was mentioned in my first video because I am finally, a year and a half later, getting around to giving her face up. So this is why she doesn't have any eyes in, because I've literally just popped her back on her body and stuck her wig on to show you her. So it's also why her face is a bit pale, because she's literally got 1 or 2 layers on. But I don't know if you can see, she's got purple eyeliner, and I'm going to make her pastel themed, so she's pinks and purples, or she will be, with her little grey wig. So that's her. So she's a recast Lati Yellow Leah, I think, imaginatively named Leah. And the other doll I bought at the same time, my first one, was also mentioned in my first video, and it's my recast minifee Chloe. She's named Candy because of her pink hair. Yes, she no longer has the pink hair, but there we are. I have a habit of naming my girls after their hair colour and then changing their hair colour. Anyway, I didn't do her face up. Now, having just said that I bought my first girls because I wanted to learn how to do face ups on recasts, I didn't actually do a face up on this one. I chickened out and bought her with a face up, and that's because I thought, if I'm no good at painting on resin, I don't want to have 2 dolls with no face. So and I really wanted Chloe, so I got a face popped on her, and it's a really lovely face up, so I haven't felt the need to wipe it off or change it. So that's Candy. I'll just set her there. How did you decide who your first doll would be is the next question, number 6. Well, that's fairly easy. I just copied Andrea on Nicole's Dreams. I know it's not very imaginative, but she was kind of my main person to go to sort of study how to do face ups, and so obviously I got to see a lot of her videos and her dolls, and she's got 3 Chloes who are all gorgeous, and I thought I'd really like one like that. There we are. Number 7, what was your first reaction when you, when you saw your first doll? This might surprise a lot of you, but I actually, when I saw Candy here, my reaction was, oh wow, she's enormous. Now, those of you who've got SD sized girls are going to be shaking your heads at that, but I don't have any SD sized girls, and my sort of reference was Blythe, so compared to a Blythe, she looked pretty big to me. Number 8, who is or was your grail doll? Okay, I don't have a grail doll. I'm very new to all the BJD side of the doll hobby. and I'm still sort of learning about all the different companies, all the different sculpts. Every day I see a doll and think, oh wow, I love that one, or you know. So yeah, no, at the moment I don't have a grail as such, but I'm sure the day will happen when I will see one that really, yeah, takes me. Number 9, which doll was the first doll that got the first BJ face up that you did? Well, that's Rowan here, and I did show Rowan on my first video. This is Rowan, named for her red hair, who's now a brunette. Anyway, she was my first face up, and that is the original face up still. I was very pleased with it and still am, so yeah, Rowan. Okay, sip of tea required, excuse me. Okay, last question, number 10. Would you do this all over again? Okay, I've thought a lot about the answer to this question. Maybe too much. There are some days when I think, why did I ever fall down this rabbit hole? And I think that's mainly due to the G factor. The G factor, of course, being guilt. There's a lot of guilt that goes along with this hobby, I think, about the space, the time, the money that's needed. But having thought about it, Demi always says that people are entitled to have a hobby, and really I don't think there's many hobbies you can do these days that don't cost money, and they certainly take up time and things. So apart from that, there are things I would do differently in the hobby. I think that's probably the best way I can answer it. So yes, I would do it all again, but I might do it differently. And basically, what I'm saying is there are dolls that I bought that I wouldn't buy again. Yeah. So apart from that, yeah, it's good. It's good to have a hobby and be creative. And I've met some nice people. And hope to continue meeting nice people through doing this hobby. So yeah, that's the end of the tag. Thank you, Demi, for that. I hope you liked my answers. I just wanted to say one more thing before I finish, and that is thank you to everyone who supported me after my first video and commented and liked and subscribed. I really appreciate that. The purpose of making this channel is really because, apart from my husband and my 2 daughters, I don't have a lot of people to share what I do with. I have family and friends, and they're always very, sorry, hearing noises, very supportive and polite about my dolls, but they're not really that interested, and I just thought it would be nice to show people that might be interested what I'm doing with the projects I have. I have lots of dolls and lots of projects that I need to finish, and I just need to get a bit more motivated to do that. And I thought that if I made a channel where I was showing people what I was doing, that would give me the motivation I need. So wish me luck. Thanks for joining me and for watching this video, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye.